The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada now brings you FILIPINARS, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond. And now, here's your host, Doris Bauer.
Well, hello, FILIPINARS listeners and followers. How are you all doing today? Very well, we hope. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as you all know, FILIPINARS is a public service project of the PNANV, or the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada, in collaboration with PHLV Radio. We do appreciate your continued support of our program. So there is an organization in our community called the Arc of Nevada. This organization was created to help ignite the passion and the energy of people with disabilities and their families to self-advocate in an effort to promote the well-being and the general welfare of people with developmental and related disabilities. They have a support network of people and organizations that promote people with diverse abilities. So the ARC wanted to honor the unsung heroes, the nurses of the healthcare community, those who have gone above and beyond to comfort, to heal, and to educate our patients. A couple of months ago, the ARC held an awards gala called the Excellence in Nursing Awards. There were many award categories. Matter of fact, I believe it's 25 of them, which include nurses in different settings. Pediatrics, for example, medical, surgical, ambulatory care, emergency, research, nursing administration, to name a few. And the winners were nominated by their peers. So today we are going to meet some of the winners who were honored at the gala. Let me welcome and introduce you to Ms. Nicole Contreras, Ms. Noghama Tokundo, or Norma, and Ms. Ann Poblete. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. I'm so glad you are here today. So I'm going to have a round of questions for y'all, and we're going to start one by one, and you're going to just answer. Feel free, okay? All right. So let's start with Norma over there on the other side. Norma, can you tell us your history as a nurse, and what type of work do you do, your place of work, that sort of thing?
Okay, so right now I work in hospice for Nathan Adelson Hospice. Altogether through my career, it's been 10 years now in the field of nursing. And then prior to that, I hold an MBA. So I came from the business world where I ran my own business.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a vast difference. But nursing has been very rewarding because my mother is also a nurse. And just coming from a third world country, it's nice to be in another country where we value healthcare, and there's so many things that you can do to actually do so much good. So, I mean, that's why we got into nursing. So I feel very, very blessed to be.
Very good. Nursing. Which country are you from originally?
So I'm half Nigerian and half Ghanaian. So, yeah, originally from West Africa.
From West Africa.
Yes.
I have not actually met anyone from in that area, so welcome.
Thank you.
So Nicole, let's see. Oh, that's Norma, and she works at Nathan Adelson Hospice. Okay, let's switch to let's see. Nicole. Nicole, where do you work, Miss Nicole Contreras?
I work with comprehensive cancer centers. And I graduated nursing school from UNLV back in 2011. So I've been a nurse for a little bit over 13 years now. And my entire nursing career has been with comprehensive cancer centers.
Nice.
So I work there, and I'm a clinical supervisor at one of our sites in the Valley.
Okay, so you are an oncology nurse, right?
Yes.
Very good. You've been doing that for a while?
A long time.
It seems like a long time, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Miss Ann Poblete, can you tell us about yourself and where you work?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. So I work at Sunrise Hospital. I am a registered nurse there. I'm on the medical pulmonary unit. I've been there almost 2 years. And I've only been a nurse for almost 2 years, so that's been my whole career so far. And if you're wondering how I won an Excellence in Nursing Award as a new nurse, it's actually in the Rising Star category. So that's
yeah. It's okay. That's great. Rising Star is always good because that means you have a lot of potential, right?
I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Norma, how and why did you get nominated in the category of, your category is, let's see, you are with hospice and palliative care, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, how and why did you get nominated in that category?
So, actually, we never know who nominates us. It comes as a surprise. But from what I hear and from what was written, they nominate nurses that exemplify excellence in that field, who really embody the passion of providing excellent patient care and really catering to patients in all aspects, because nursing has to be holistic, or any kind of care has to be holistic. You have to care for the person, the disease process, and sometimes family members, because they're caregivers for the patient. So I guess that's what led to that. Also, one of the peer testimonials spoke to the fact that I try to support other nurses that are coming up in the field. I believe our rising stars are the future, really. And I always say, I always want to be the nurse that I needed in my hardest time. So that's how I live my life. I'm Catholic. My faith is really big to me. So I always try to maneuver by knowing, loving, and serving your patient. And that's big in Catholicism, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's I guess that's how it happened.
Well, and hospice and palliative care is a very challenging area of nursing, because you not only do you have to deal with the patients, but you also have to deal, with the family members holistically, and what they believe, and their religious beliefs, like you said, and everything, right?
Absolutely. And what I love about where I work is we do what's right by the patient. So it could be any type of culture, any type of country you're from. If you have different traditions, we try to honor that. So let's say you say, I need the windows open so that the soul can escape. We will do our best to make sure that all those things happen for the family, so that the death process, although it's painful, we just know that we're honoring the people that have passed on. So that really resonates so much with me, and I'm so blessed to work for the company I work for now. Our nursing leaders are so kind, and I know you remember you were there at the award when I said that before, oh my goodness, but they're just really good people. They're just really good people, and they live our mission every single day, because we want to always be the employer of choice, and I'm glad I work there. We want to be the hospice of choice, because we always want to do what's good for the patient. We hardly turn away families. We get so much donations, and we make sure that we cater to the community in Las Vegas. And I've never worked in the nonprofit sector. I'm just now doing that for the first 5 years of my nursing career ever. And I mean, I can't sing Nathan Adelson's praise enough, because they are dynamic, they are excellent, they live out the mission every single day, and I feel so blessed to be a part of that organization.
Yeah, we've heard good things about Nathan Adelson, and a company like that who really caters not only to the patients but also to the people that work underneath them. That's a big thing, right?
For sure.
Yes. Well, thank you for that, Norma. Let's take a look at Nicole. So, Nicole, tell us about how you got nominated in this category, oncology nursing, and how you won it.
I just want to say, Norma, I love your passion. That was so beautiful. I'm sorry. But how I got nominated, I believe I was nominated by my nurse manager and my nurse leaders. I think that this was the first nursing excellence that ARC has done?
Yes, I
It
mean,
used to be
that-
March
that
of
is
Dimes,
correct.
right?
That's
Okay.
correct.
So I think we used to involve ourselves in March of Dimes before. So since
Yes.
that kind of went away and ARC has done it now, so it's been a few years. So our nurse managers kind of took part in that rather than our peers this year. Hopefully that can change for next year. But I think I was nominated because of my leadership style. I really kind of drive home teamwork within my site. If you know me, my motto at work is teamwork makes the dream work. So I'm constantly trying to instill that with my team, and it starts with me first. So I am constantly trying to do kind of teamwork activities because working in oncology, it's very difficult to kind of take ourselves out of that because we are giving so much. We see these patients who are suffering and we give so much of ourselves to them that I try to kind of put that aside for a little bit out of the day and do some type of teamwork. I initiated and I organize our participation in a corporate challenge that happens throughout Las Vegas with several different companies. So that's another way that I try to get, our employees out there to get their minds off of things, to kind of decompress. And I also do things throughout the community. So I think that's why I was nominated.
That's awesome. And hospice oncology is a field that is very challenging as well because of the patient population that you deal with, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very challenging.
Yeah, you have to, cater to not only the patient, but those who help them as well go through their journey, right?
Correct.
And you work at the office where you give chemo treatments in the clinic?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So all of our sites within the Valley, we do infusion. That's chemotherapy, immunotherapy. We do different types of IV infusions there. We also have a different type of section in the office that does more of like case management. Those are the ones that we're kind of alongside with Nathan Adelson and that type of thing. We do referrals out to them. So we have kind of two different entities within nursing and comprehensive cancer.
Very good. And I do love the fact that you try to involve your teammates in trying to do community work. So that is, again, the other side of nursing, wherein not only do we take care of ourselves, the patients, but also see what we can give back to the community, right?
Correct.
Right. Very good. Well, thank you so much. And now we need to talk to our rising star in nursing, Ms. Ann Poblete. Julianne, so, how did you get nominated for this award?
To be honest, I have no idea who nominated me, and I kind of mentioned it at the awards ceremony. I didn't even think this was real. I had no idea who the ARC was. No one told me they were nominating me, and I kept getting emails from the organizers, and I just literally kept ignoring them, and then I kept saying deadlines coming up for whatever we had to do for that.
Right.
So I responded. I was like, first of all, I don't know who you are. Second of all, how could I possibly be nominated? I'm a new nurse. I don't think
you never know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think new nurses can be excellent nurses. I mean, we can try our best, but we're not by far nowhere near the top. I give these ladies so much praise. Oncology and hospice are such hard areas in nursing to be in, and I would definitely say they are way more excellent than me. And so I did not believe I was truly nominated or that I even qualified to be nominated. But with that being said, after she explained it was in the Rising Star category, and then I did read the nomination page because they had to read that before presenting the awards to us. I think it's because I'm just really proactive in what we do. And it's kind of like how Norma explained, she wants to be the nurse that she needed. And I've always had that motto in my life, be who you needed. And for me, when I was in school, it looked like everybody hated their lives because it was a hard time. I went to school during COVID. It was a really difficult time to be a nurse.
For sure.
And so the students, for us, we didn't know that it wasn't always like that. And so when I started and it wasn't that terrible and maybe it was difficult, I work at a really, high acuity hospital. I just always wanted to be that light, I guess, for others who do need support, especially the students. I'm very proactive with the students as well. But I'm the chairperson of our unit-based council, so I do try to find process improvements, quality improvements. I'm also very just active outside of the hospital. I'm part of the Academy of Med Surg nurses.
Nice.
And yes, and just this month, actually, I started on the board of directors for them as the emerging professional, because I just think it's really important for all of us to advocate for each other. Yes. And for our patients. Our patients, of course, we learn that all throughout nursing school. But more so, I think, too, we have to really advocate for each other. And I like to think my leadership sees that. And maybe that's why I was nominated.
That is so good. And I love that you all of you have this passion of try to give back and the leadership skills that you guys have. This is what we need from you younger people, because, I'm on the exit now and I'm older. So we rely on you to carry on our legacy as nurses. So thank you so much for that. Now this question is, why do you think that Excellence in Nursing Awards is important to recognize nurses that are really giving out and going above and beyond their duty? Why do you think this is important? Let's start with you, Norma.
We all got into nursing because I think it's something you have to breathe, right? And sometimes you don't realize just how much you do. And I think this is so significant and impactful because it just, you don't do it because of who's watching. You just do it right because it's the right thing to do. Patients need it. And you just hope that we all got into this for that reason. So it really boosts morale within the nursing community. And it lets you know that your input is valued. One thing I always love is when new nurses reach out and they're like, oh my goodness, you told me this and you told me that, and oh my goodness, it really helped, or thank you for being there for me, because it can be stressful sometimes, right? You go to work, you pour yourself out, and you're not doing it because you're doing it for an audience. You're not acting. You're living out your values. You're living out the things that you believe, and then getting nominated and actually winning in the category is just oh my goodness, that's so kind. Thank you. We didn't do it for the award, but wow, thank you for the recognition. So it's really I don't know what to say. I was so touched. I think I probably cried at that.
Yeah, it's called enhancing your morale and boosting your job satisfaction for what you have already done, right? So exactly. That's great. That's great. Sure. How about you, Nicole? Why do you think these Nursing and Excellence Awards are important?
I think it's important because it's not often that nurses get kind of the praise and the opportunity to get celebrated. Like Norma was saying, we kind of just do it because that's what we know what to do, and it's in our hearts to do it. And I think winning an award gives us kind of that validation that, hey, we are being celebrated, we are being acknowledged. And I think it's really important to do that to nurses in the community. So I'm super happy that ARC decided to do this, and maybe more organizations will follow suit and, give praise to these nurses that are giving their time, giving their compassion, giving all of themselves. It's just such a selfless job. So it really means a lot. And I cried too.
Yes, that's great. It gives you the motivation to keep going, right?
For sure.
And people, like you said, validation is really important. And it used to be all these categories used to be in. There was an organization called March of Dimes, but they no longer are here. But I am so glad that ARC decided to get this and take that and give recognition to the nurses. There are other nursing awards, but they're important as well. But this is really truly important.
Yeah, very special.
Yes, yes. How about you, Julianne? Why do you think that these awards are important?
So, I do agree with everything they've already said. And in the workplace, it's almost weird when you get recognized because we know everyone around us is doing their absolute best to take care of their patients. So when one person gets isolated and recognized, it's a positive thing, but it also feels kind of odd. But when we come together and a celebration like this, I think is super important for all nurses because it really brings together nurses from all practices, all areas, all levels of leadership, like new and, people who have been there and are probably retired but still doing it because they just love nursing. It brings all of us together in a space where we can truly just celebrate what we do, not just individually, but as like groups of people. And so I think that's super important. It just allows us to come together and not feel weird. I cried too. I cried too because, it's just a room of passion is what it is. Yeah. And I think that's really cool to see because at work, especially where I work, I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but I only know what I know. And at my work, it is so, you don't have time to think, oh, I did a good job. Or, you don't have time to be like, hey, you did great. Unless, you're in leadership, but on the floor, on the bedside, we just don't have time to do that. And so when you get recognized in places like this, where everybody's like, oh, you're doing a great job, it just kind of makes everything worth it. I think it decreases burnout, which is huge. Yes. I think it increases our passion even more when we were already passionate to begin with, and it just boosts morale overall. So I do think we need to continue having events like this, but this specifically was just such a huge deal, in my opinion.
Very good, very good. So, do you all have anything to add to all this discussion that we've had regarding the Excellence in Nursing Awards? Yeah. Norma, you want to say something?
I will absolutely say it's really weird to get, like, you almost feel guilty because you're like, wait a minute, we're all doing a good job.
Exactly.
You don't want to, talk about it because you're like,
exactly. Exactly. It was very strange. So I'm just kind of like, oh, but I mean, I'll say for sure, like, when I go to bed at night, and I've had like a rough day, I like visit my award and I'm like, you know what, we're doing it because we believe, we have the passion, we want to give back. And it's like, just like serving or taking care of your patients when they're leaving this world. Hospice is very hard, like you guys have acknowledged, and just being part of that process where basically they're born and then they're leaving this world. It's just, you feel honored as a person because it's like Nathan Adelson believes no one should die alone or in pain. And just, we live that every single day and advocating for the patient to make sure, that they're not in pain or like the family is like consoled and given bereavement. It's just, it's very strange but sometimes when I have a hard day, I'm like, you know what? I did good.
At the end of the day, you want to try to go home and just say, I think I did a good job today,
and just rev my award. No, I'm just kidding.
And I think this is why I'm still doing it. I probably have twice the number of years of experience that you all have, but I'm still doing it because it's what you love. It has to be ingrained in you to actually practice in this profession because it's just, I don't know, it's very rewarding.
It is.
Right?
I could say that in nursing, no matter kind of what field you work in, whether it's bedside, whether it's infusion, whether it's hospice, I think you're that nurse, you're in that person's life at such a big event in their life, no matter what it is. And you kind of just have to take that home with you and just say, hey, I did a good job. I did the best I could for this patient in this moment of their life, whether big or small. And you kind of just have to kind of take some praise in that and some self-reflection and just know that you're doing what you meant to do when you graduated nursing school, and that's where your heart is, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think all nurses just need to keep continuing, keep striving for that passion, because you're out here doing what a lot of people can't do. So.
Right. Exactly. It takes a certain personality to be a nurse and to be successful. Right, Julianne?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like, to be completely honest, I think when these types of recognitions happen, it really does highlight that passion,
right.
Because it is really difficult, especially when you lose a patient. That is so tough. They don't warn you about that in school, really. But when we have these types of recognition, it's like what Norma said. You go home and you can look at this and be like, yeah, I am doing a good job. When you're doubting yourself, you're doing a good job. And like, we need to, I think, do more to increase our passion, because that passion really just helps drive us every single day. And even if you don't win, right? Had I lost, it would have been fine. But just being in that room, seeing how much passion there was in that room, I think that in itself is priceless.
Yes, very, very good. So I'd like to give you the last question. It doesn't have a lot to do with the awards, but what do you think, what is your opinion on the future of nursing in Nevada?
Starting with me? Or no?
Who wants to start with that difficult question?
I'm on screen. I guess I'll
go.
Go ahead. For me, I'm very hopeful for the future of nursing in Nevada. I'm still new, so I don't know if I'm just naive or what. But I am very hopeful for it. I do think, though, that just like raising a child, it takes a village for any positive change to happen. And so I do think it's really important for us as nurses to partner with different organizations, different people, like the ARC, like PNANV or other associations, and like other politicians, so that we can effect change, increase everybody's passion, and just make sure that while the community is being cared for by us, we are also being cared for in return, so that it can be an evergreen cycle.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, self-care for us is really important, but it's also important to engage in the community. So, how about you, Nicole?
Well, I think you said it pretty well. But no, I am hopeful. Nurses are very essential to the community, so I would hope that maybe the community could also kind of give back to the nurses, and again, kind of do more of these award type things, just to celebrate nurses. I think that, that's important, just to continue to kind of lift our spirits and, let us know that we are, important to the community, and we are, being celebrated again. So, yeah, I don't know.
Very good. And Miss Norma, what do you think?
So I think nursing, there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of even Nevada. Let's look at our educational, like where we fall in education. Right. I do think it's very important for policymakers to reallocate those funds, because we have to nurture and bring up these new nurses that are coming up. Because think about it this way. Nevada is a fun city, right? We host F1, we have EDC. We always have like a pouring of people from all over the world into Nevada. So we have to have great nurses that are dynamic. We have to have policymakers pour into the medical field and bring up these great rising stars like her, so that we can give back and actually take care of people that enter into the community for, enjoyment. But then there is that side too. You might be out on the strip drinking too much, so we have to have like policymakers that care about the medical field, that care about nurses. And you said something very important. There was one time where we were hearing about a lot of suicide in nursing.
Oh yeah.
And it's scary and it's hard, and you also said something very important about self-care. I always my favorite word is no, because when I'm tired, I'm gonna say no, I need to sleep, or no, I need to watch my show or listen to my classical music. We have to take care of ourselves so we can take care of other people. And I think there's a lot of growth opportunity in Nevada where, they're investing in a lot of infrastructure for more fun things. And I hope policymakers will really give back and pour into, nurses, because we have a shortage. It's really serious, and we have boomers that are, oh God, did I just use a wrong word? But
no, you did not.
I'm sorry.
I'm working.
It's we have this large demographic that's going to need us, and we have to have a plan in place so we can really hone in and serve the community to the best of our ability. So I really do hope that policymakers will hear this message and reallocate funds.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for that. I was hoping somebody would, say something about that, because, the reality is in the state of Nevada, we have about 4,000 vacant RN jobs, which are not being filled. And so it is a very dire shortage in nursing. And one of the things that we are trying to advocate in the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada is to try to at least get some nursing compact licensure and include us there. So tune in, ladies. I'm going to actually ask your guys' help. There's a survey going out there, so please do that and fill out. And allocating funds is also good, and try to retain the people that are already here and the people that actually go to school here, correct?
Yes,
so a lot of them would go to school here and then leave. No, we want them to stay. So that is, the reality of the future of nursing. And as for self-care, yes, we do advocate that. Matter of fact, the PNANV has a program for self-care. So go to our website, and we also have a mentoring program. So just in case y'all don't know. And come join us. Okay. Well, ladies, do you have anything else to add to that?
I'd love to add something, if that's okay.
Yes.
Because I love everything that Norma just said. I do 100% agree. But I just would love to encourage all nurses to realize that we are all part of that as well. Yes, the legislation is super important. Everybody, like in the politician side of that, needs to do their part. But us as nurses also really need to do our part as well. And I'm not knocking anybody. I know we're all trying our best. The only thing, though, is like it really starts with what students see. Right? Because like how I mentioned earlier, when I was a student, what I saw was not great. And it made a lot of my classmates question. I think our graduation rate was very low because people decided they didn't want to do that. And so it really is, it's like full circle thing, right? So the legislation has to be there, but also the workplace has to give importance to how the nurses are. It all kind of comes together. So however it is, I just would love to encourage nurses that if you have a new person, if you have a student, if you have someone who's just like, I am interested in nursing, but you're just talking to them at the grocery store or something, shed a light on maybe how difficult it is, but also shed a light on all the positive things. Right. Because it really does come down to that as well. I think we forget sometimes that everybody is listening and processing. And so to me, I think if we all just kind of come together, and like I said earlier, it takes a village. We have to work with everybody. We have to develop ourselves professionally, personally, beg these politicians to listen to us. It really is, every little thing has to come together so that we can make that supposed nursing shortage a lot less. Because there are 4,000 nurses out there who can apply for those jobs, but they're just not doing it.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. Because I don't know if I know you've heard it because we're 10 years in the game, but have you ever heard the term nurses eat their young?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
I need to change that.
I swore. That's why I always say I always want to be the nurse I needed. We have to encourage young nurses to take up space. You can be soft, but you have to be stern. If someone is, giving you too much, you have to be like, no, that's okay. And also one thing I like to tell young nurses, there's power in the pause, right? So holding that pause, because there might be a situation and you want to be reactive. Oh my God, why did this happen? But there's power. Because 3 seconds, 5 seconds. And maybe the person's intent was not even to offend you, or maybe you were taking it the wrong way. But I think if we realize, there's power in the pause and you have to nurture each other, because you said it takes a village, but we have to be each other's community because it's hard.
That's
and we do it
something
every
I had
day.
to learn over the how many years I've been in the game is take a minute.
Don't react.
Take a minute. Yep.
Yes, because the pause lets the other person process that what they said was shocking.
I love that. The power of the pause.
There's
I love
power
that.
in the pause.
Yes, and I think it's so important, right, to teach new nurses and stuff this, because I kind of said it in my little spiel at the awards ceremony that I would love for that room next time to be filled with 500 new grads, because I'm pretty sure 500 new grads graduate every year, right? That would be so awesome. But I think I was one of two, and the second one didn't even want to really recognize herself. So I think it would be awesome. Like if we just, like you said, do what we can, nurture each other, nurture the new people. Don't eat your young, please.
Nurture the students. And that's what PNANB is really engaging more of the nursing students, keep them positive. They even have the opportunity to join our organization actually as a student. So they can have some mentoring, guidance, and all that. And networking, we have to talk to each other. There's power in numbers, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it was difficult for you to all get here due to your busy schedules, and Norma's cutting out right now to go see a patient. So, so we would also like to, this thing has been a couple of months coming, but so it's fine. And I really appreciate that you are all here today. And we also would like to thank Ms. Michelle Gorillo, the Executive Director of the ARC of Nevada, who was responsible in organizing this awards gala. We hope that the ARC will continue to do this annually. And to our listeners and followers, we leave you with this. Excellence in Nursing Awards play a vital role in healthcare by recognizing and celebrating the exceptional contributions of nurses. These awards not only honor individuals, but also team achievements, but also they serve as a cornerstone for fostering professional development and advancing the nursing profession. The Excellence in Nursing Awards are more than a recognition tool. They are a celebration of the heart of healthcare. By valuing and promoting excellence, these awards inspires nurses to continue their vital work, ultimately enhancing patient care and strengthening the healthcare system. So thank you very much for joining us today. Please be safe and be well. Until next time, this is Doris Bauer, your Philippine Nurse host, signing off for now.
The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you FILIPINARS. News, interesting features, and events in the nursing community and beyond. Hosted by Doris Bauer on PHLV Radio.